Good evening. I call to order the Monday, May 24th school committee meeting, year 2021. Let's see, first order of business is consideration for the approval of the open and executive session minutes for May 6th and May 17th. I trust anyone have any problems and or questions with them as they are written? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept as written.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Roll call vote. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
Aye.
Mr. Chafe.
Abstain.
Okay. Yes, that's true. You weren't here at that time. Excellent catch. And the chair votes aye. Those are accepted as written. Moving on. Administrative updates. Mr. Lee, do you have some for us?
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
By all means. What I miss?
I think Mr. Chafe was here for May 6th, so we did two. Do you want to do them individually?
You know, okay.
We did two sets of minutes, not just one.
Yes, I stand corrected. Thank you, Mr. Kokoris. So then we will, all right, that first vote was for May
I think you
17th.
did them together.
17th.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chafe, you had something to say?
No, I was saying it was the May 17th meeting I missed.
Okay, so we will be taking a roll call vote for the May 6th minutes. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobb-Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
Aye.
Mr. Chafe,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you, Mr. Kokoris, for that detail. Moving on. Mr. Lee, do we have administrative updates?
Thank you, Mr. Devon. The administrative updates really would relate to the next scheduled meetings of the school committee. As you're going to discuss this evening, we have some statements of interest. The proposal would be to move the next meeting to June 1st, which would align the school committee meeting with the town council meeting that night. If we were to hold a 6 p.m. school committee meeting, we could then all join the town council meeting, which begins at 7. So that is one suggestion that I think I'd ask that be entertained. And then if that were to be the case, moving off of the June 7th date and looking at June 21st is the next meeting after that, there are some matters that would have to be considered by the school committee by that point in time. So just putting it out there for suggestions.
Okay, so we'll be moving off the 7th back to the 1st in order to align with the council meeting.
Through the chair, if I may.
Excuse me, Ms. Saros.
Sorry, isn't that Memorial Day?
No, it's Tuesday is the 1st is Tuesday. Memorial Day is Monday the 31st.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
It would be Tuesday, the 1st. 6 p.m. Do we have any major conflicts with that? It's in order to bring the SOIs to the committee. And obviously 21st would be like a regular meeting with all the things that come with that. Do we have any other administrative updates?
Not at this point, Mr. Devon.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee. Okay, so consideration for a first reading for the MSBA SOI submissions. In looking at them, we have the core project for the high school that we've been putting in for more than a few years now. I think it's in our best interest to put that forward. It shows them that we're still serious about it. Maybe it's one of those things that if you don't get in line, they can't pick you. And the others are roof replacements for the Flaherty, the Hollis, the Morris, and Manatequit Kindergarten Center. So, I mean, yes, this constitutes a first reading, but I mean, the high school one is kind of one we've put forth before. And the roof, I believe we've put some of these before, haven't we? Didn't we put it more than a few last year, Mr. Lee?
That's correct, sir.
So I don't believe I don't think there's any discrepancies in, the SOI statements of interest for these two types of projects going forward. Does anyone have a problem with us moving these forward tonight? Hearing no objection, we'll start with the Braintree High School. I've got to read this motion and see how I do here. I forgot the glasses. This ought to be interesting. Having convened an open meeting on May 24th, the year 2021, prior to the closing date, the school committee of Braintree, in accordance with its charter, bylaws, and ordinances, has voted to authorize the superintendent of the Braintree Public School Department to submit to the Massachusetts School Building Authority a statement of interest dated May 24th, the year 2021, for Braintree High School located at 128 Town Street, Braintree, Massachusetts, which describes and explains the following deficiencies and the priority categories for which an application may be submitted to the Massachusetts School Building Authority in the future. Priority 3, preservation of the loss of accreditation. Priority 5, replacement of renovation or modernization of the school facility systems such as roofs, windows, boilers, heating, and ventilation systems to increase energy conservation and decrease energy-related costs in a school facility. Priority 7, replacement of or addition to obsolete buildings in order to provide for the full range of programs consistent with the state and approved local requirements. And hereby further specifically acknowledging that by submitting this statement of interest form, the Massachusetts School Building Authority in no way guarantees the acceptance and or approval of an application, the awarding or of a grant or any other funding commitment from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or commits to the town of Braintree or the Braintree School Department to filing an application for funding with the Massachusetts School Building Authority. So I guess I'll entertain a motion to put this forward.
Just before you do that, Mr. Devon, and I completely empathize with the glasses because I couldn't read any word that you just read if I didn't have mine on. But priority 3 was the prevention of the loss of accreditation, just to be clear.
Yes, that's true. That's become a bone of contention in the past, and we have to put that in there. It's formality, but it's there nonetheless. Thank you. Do we have a motion to put forth?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have a second? I have a motion, I have a second. Roll call vote. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobb-Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
Aye.
Mr. Chafe,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. That's unanimous to put this SOI for Braintree High School forward. Our second set is the roofs. I'll read this too. Let's see how this goes, because you give me a little bit of a head start here. Having convened an open meeting on May 24th, year 2021, prior to the closing date of the school committee of Braintree in accordance with its charter, bylaws, and ordinances, has voted to authorize the superintendent of the Braintree School Department to submit to the Massachusetts School Building Authority a statement of interest dated May 24th, year 2021 for Flaherty Elementary School, 99 Lakeside Drive, Braintree, Mass. Hollis Elementary School, 482 Washington Street, Braintree, Mass. Morrison Elementary School, 260 Liberty Street, Braintree, Mass. And the Manadequate Kindergarten Center at 25 Brow Ave, Braintree, Mass, which describes and explains the following deficiencies and the priority categories for which an application may be submitted to the Massachusetts Building Authority in a future for the repair and or replacement of roofs as described in priority 5 of the statement of interest, and hereby further specifically acknowledges that by submitting this statement of interest form, the Massachusetts School Building Authority in no way guarantees the acceptance and or approval of said application and the awarding of a grant or any other funding commitment from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or commits to the Braintree Public School District to filing an application for funding with the Mass School Building Authority. So this one is for the roofs. Do I have a motion to put forth?
So moved. So
Second.
moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Roll call vote. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobb Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
aye,
Mr. Chafe,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. That's unanimous to move those forward. So those will be moving forward, I believe, to the council June 1st. And in moving forward, so we'll put those forward. Our next order of business is going into executive session. So we will leave this meeting and leave this meeting open. Go into executive session. Executive session, consideration to enter into executive session pursuant to Chapter 30A, Section 21AE, to discuss the strategy for negotiation of collective bargaining, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the legal position of the school committee as declared by chair. Have we put forth that, those coordinates?
I believe Andrew's going to do that as soon as this gets voted.
yes,
Excellent. Yes, we need a vote to enter an executive session. Do we have said motion?
so moved,
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote to enter an executive session. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobb Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
aye.
Mr. Chafe.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. We'll be going into executive session, then coming back out so that we can adjourn this meeting. Thank you, people.
Thank you.
Not bringing me over. So guess who's with you? Hi. I won't touch anything. I know, I get that a lot. People, can you hear me?
Yep.
Please, God.
It's not like that.
It isn't.
They should be able to hear.
Yeah, we can hear you, Tom.
Okay, great. My apologies. My iPad's acting up. It has me outside the meeting and I can't quite get in. We're back in this full meeting. At this point in time, we've discussed in executive session the economic impact that COVID and other things are having as far as how we're acquiring our substitute nurses. It asks us to raise the monies we offer them to
$55 an hour
$55 an hour, which is a temporary situation, or at least we
on an
Reserve-
emergency basis.
on an emergency basis, so that we can try and get substitute nurses for the end of the year. We all discussed this. Do I have a motion going forward as far as to make this happen?
So moved.
So moved.
I have a
Second.
motion. I have a second. We'll go with a roll call vote. Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobb Lemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
aye,
Mr. Chafe,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. That will take effect immediately. Our only last thing we have is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Over the second. Roll call, Ms. Saros,
Aye.
Ms. Cobblemare,
Aye.
Ms. Doland,
Aye.
Mr. Kokoris,
Aye.
Mr. Chafe,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. We're adjourned. Thank you all. Hope you have a good evening. Thank you
Night.
for
Night,
those that
everybody.
tuned
Good
in.
night.